Yo, welcome back.
Back again. We'll call that a break.
Yeah,
Stretch.
yeah, seventh inning stretch. Don't know how long we're gonna go on tonight. To be honest, it doesn't have to be a super long night, but heck, my flight canceled tonight, so I don't have to be there at 5 in the morning anymore.
That's great news. Who
Yeah,
likes 5 in the morning, right?
nobody likes 5 in the morning. So one of the things I was gonna mention, I'll wait till we get a few more people filtering in here.
All right, let's get them in.
I don't know. Is this music annoying or is it okay?
I think it's all right. Better than silence, but I don't know what the crowd is thinking about it.
Oh, and there is another thing I wanted to run by everybody. What's up, Joe? Welcome. Joe, if you didn't catch the show earlier, you should watch it. It was pretty good. I don't know. We're going to have some mood music playing in the background if you guys think it's too weird or you can't hear. Can you hear it okay, though, or does it not come through okay? Okay.
It mainly comes in when you don't talk. Because, you know, noise canceling microphone, I guess, you know.
Now a little better, you can hear it. I don't want it to overpower the whole thing. That's not the intent. I don't know. I've seen some different podcasts here and there, and some of them have music in the background. I thought, hey, that doesn't sound bad at all. All right, cool, Joe. Awesome. Something else I wanted to hit on real quick while we let a few more people come on. Oh, you know what? We'll just get to it. So, Roy, some of Roy's people, and then Roy confirmed it. They were at Roy's camp. I'll call it Roy's camp. You know, his campaign people that are out there holding the banners and the signs and stuff like that. Hilda Garcia, welcome back on. And so they were having food. This was sometime during early voting. First couple days. And I mean, they were out there for a long time. Everybody was standing out there. Even Jessica's people were there too, right? So they went and they offered them food. Roy told people, hey, you know what? Take a bunch of plates and go over there and offer them food. Oh, they refused it. They said, nope. They were like very adamant. They were they say they were very angry. And he was just, I don't know, nice gesture. Say, we got extra food, you know, that everybody's been out here for a long time all day. And they turned it down. I think that's a bit of a dick move, personally. But so fast forward to a couple days ago. Hey, Nadia, welcome back. Rested? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I don't know. Maybe this music is a little annoying. So a couple days ago, Judge Ben Neese is with Roy. You know, they're talking or whatever they were doing together. And they put up the U.S. flag up, you know, on their end, on their side. And, oh, there's Roy. Hang on a second. Military silence? No military silence. Okay, it's coming right up, Roy. Hang on. Hungry Hippo, welcome back. And Chuck, how are those donuts? I'll order you PSV. Thank you. There's been a outpouring of support. I do appreciate it from everyone. Thanks for your sentiments, Chuck. I am covered right now. You know, when you're hungry, you can have like the crappiest food and it tastes like gold. It tastes like so good, like filet. That pizza was the best tasting pizza I ever had, forever. Thank you, everyone who much support there. Very humbling. You guys are all good people. I thank you. I was a good girl for 2 months and to the day, and I was put in Facebook jail for 30 days again. Oh my goodness, dude. You got to cut it out. You can't. We're gonna have to. We gotta have a talk, Nadia. Yep, we'll do, Eddie. It's coming up, right? I just wanted to tell the story. I'll let Roy tell the story if he wants to. If not, I'll tell the story. I don't know if he wants to get into that kind of thing right now. All right, tell him it's coming over. Give me a second, guys. Hey, well, you can say something, for a few moments of silence here. We don't have a few moments of silence.
Something.
Funny guy. All right, Roy, you got the link there. Roy wants to come on for a little bit. I'm sure he's partying right now. Yeah, Roy looks different, right? Roy had a bit of a makeover. He's straight now. He's straight now.
Couldn't get the real one on yet. Just hold on. Give me a few minutes.
Snoopy's back. Couldn't help it. I was defending La Doña for her bogus arrest. Yeah, so whatever happened with that? And I saw the video where she was getting arrested. That's all. Just seemed a little sketchy. Give us an update on that in a minute, if you would. Roy said it too, buddy. Alrighty. Anyway, so that happened. Roy's people went over there in good faith, not angry, not fighting words, nothing. They just say, hey, we got some extra food. Now you guys been standing out here for a while with us also. And he offered them food and he turned it down. They turned it down. They turned down lunch from Roy's camp. And for whatever the reason was, I don't know. I think it was Roy's handing out, what do you call it? A olive branch. And they did not take kindly to that for some reason. And there's a man of the hour.
Hi, guys.
Congratulations, Roy.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Roy, I don't know if you know Abel Vela. I don't know if you met him before or not on the show or not.
From the comments.
Yeah,
he knows me. What's up, Roy? Congrats.
Feeling so much relief and
awesome, man.
I'm right now.
You look great, bro.
Yeah. What did you? What was on your mind? I knew you were staring at that screen, refreshing, or somebody was.
Oh God, yes. It was nice to hit the finish line in this race. The stress was absolutely taking a toll on me. And I've run for office a couple of times before, and all of them had always been very cordial, very amiable. There was never any ugliness, never any mudslinging. It was always focused on issues, and we were always very polite to one another. So this was a real awakening for me. This one really broke the mold.
Yeah. So were you already at the restaurant when you guys were waiting on this information to come through?
Yeah, folks had asked me if I was going to go to the courthouse to wait for results, because I know that's usually the quickest way to get them. But as hard as we worked, and I didn't do it alone, I couldn't have done it alone. I wanted to be with my supporters and family and friends when I heard whatever the outcome was going to be. We're going to accept the will of the voters always, but I wanted to be with family, friends, and supporters when I got those results.
There you go. Shauna says, congrats, Roy. Live up to those expectations, sir.
Without a doubt.
Ben Benavides, congratulations, Roy.
Thank you, Ben.
Hey, Amy. It's actually Manny and Abel today. Bam will be with us next week. And Chuck Nelson says congratulations as well.
Thank you, Chuck.
So yes, we were talking about how, even though there was a lot of mudslinging towards the end there, and especially over what we call postcard gate.
Yep. I like that.
You chose a high road and
Always.
Didn't sling anything back.
Always.
And I think that's very admirable. I think most people would find it admirable.
I think even on your show, Manny, and on other statements I put out, I think I was pretty clear about where I stood on that type of a tactic. And I'm proud to say that several of my supporters who had been very vocal online and social media reached out to me and they asked, do you want us to tone it down? We don't want to hurt the campaign. And I told them, I don't ever want you to stop being who you are. I said, but just understand, it's not about hate. It should not be an attack. anything you put out there also should not be a lie. It must be factual. And that's my message to all of my supporters.
That's excellent. Have you heard from Jessica at all, by the way? Just wondering. I don't know. I don't know if it's just a presidential thing, but you know how they always call and congratulate the president who didn't win calls. I don't know that that's a thing here or not. I was just a honest, curious question.
Now, folks ask me that same question, but no, I don't believe. Although I know I've got a lot of messages I haven't responded to yet, Facebook, text messages, phone calls. So it's not impossible that I could have missed a call from her, but I don't believe that.
Chuck Nelson, congratulations, Roy. Hungry Hippo, also congratulations, Roy. Maria Morgan, congratulations, Roy. You did it, buddy.
Thank you.
Betty Rubble, congrats, Roy, on your win. I hope you have a fair and successful term. Everyone is expecting you to be the same way that you have been online with us here. And they expect that to continue, you know, during your time there at the commission with the city commission.
It absolutely will.
What is what's the next step? How does this process work?
I know they wait 10 days for canvassing before everything's made official, and then we set up swearing in. So I expect, since the city meets the first and third Tuesdays of the month, I'm expecting right around July 6th would probably be my swearing in. But I've got to talk to city leadership to confirm that this week.
Okay, and then as it was, you know, somebody did bring it up. You have your court date is this week as well. Is that correct?
I believe it's Thursday, the 24th.
Yeah. Gotcha. 24. Okay, we thought it was the 26th or something like that. Doesn't matter. So I'm sure that news will come up at that point, and yes. I guess we'll just deal with that as it comes, right?
Absolutely. And like I said, once it's adjudicated and we have a resolution on that, I'm happy to come back on the show and go into more detail, because the public does have a right to know.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you are raising the bar when it comes to transparency.
Well, I'll tell you, Manny, I grew up as a conservative, and like I've mentioned here with you before, I voted for every Republican for president until the time I was 40 years old. I was chairman of college Republicans. And I was part of the Brownsville Republican Club and a delegate to the state Republican convention. I do not call myself a Republican anymore, but for the duration that I did, and still as a conservative, it was always the party, when it was the party of Reagan and the party of George H.W. Bush, it was about right and wrong, nothing else. And, you know, often, and I understand where we are as a country today and where we are as far as parties go today, but, you know, it's disheartening for me when I'm making a point about a conservative or a liberal, whoever I'm talking to that's on the opposite side, right away they go to, oh, well, the so-and-so, they did this, though, and they did that. And I'm like, it's not about who did what. It's not about trying to one-up each other. It's always just about what's right and what's wrong. And that's it. That's all that should drive us, is what's right, what's wrong, and we do what's best for the country. It should not be about, well, when the Democrats were in office, they screwed us over this way and that way. Or when the Republicans were in office, they screwed us over this way and that way.
Right.
It's always supposed to be about what's right and wrong and best for the country, and that's it.
So what I wanted to ask you was, and we discussed this earlier, the whole situation with the postcard. Do you feel that it affected you or her one way or another?
It's, you know, it's hard to quantify, but given the outpouring of support, or not support, but the outcry from the public that we saw condemning that type of attack, I'd like to think it worked in our favor. But, you know, there are a lot of folks like Morgan Cisneros Graham, who's the chair for the party in Cameron County, for the Republican Party in Cameron County. You know, Morgan didn't get out there and say, I'm endorsing Roy de los Santos now because of this.
Right.
Morgan condemned this type of attack, this type of tactic. You know, she's someone that I respect a great deal. And I'd like to think that I've got her respect as someone who, despite the fact that we may have different points of view on certain social issues, she still knows that I'm a conservative, especially when it comes to fiscal policy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we were having a discussion earlier. Abel seems to think that the people already decided who they were going to vote for, and maybe that situation solidified their decision. But he doesn't think it's swayed too much one way or the other.
I will say I don't know if it would have changed the outcome of the race if it was to that extent, but I can say that there were several folks in the community who did reach out and say I wasn't planning to vote in this race, and now I'm going to come out after that postcard. And I know even within the LGBTQ community, and I know there's a lot of conservatives out there that hate that I call myself conservative because they'd like to think I'm a liberal or a progressive. But you ask any progressive in Brownsville, and they'll tell you Roy de los Santos is too conservative to be a progressive. There were folks in the LGBTQ community who were on the fence about me because I'm too conservative.
Yeah.
So I know that tipped the scales for a lot of people. I'm glad that it worked out that way, and I think it's fitting that today, in June, that holiday and something that the country's looking at more globally. And I think, considering what direction this race went, to have the victory in my favor on Juneteenth, I think is very significant. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I guess that's a date that will not be forgotten. Easy to remember.
Absolutely.
So you had you Abel, you got something?
I was saying, yep, a day to remember for sure. And yeah, definitely. What I said earlier was that the hard work that you've put in. I am 100% sure that a postcard wouldn't make a difference on the outcome. Hard work is hard work, and it's really hard to take it away. So hats off to that.
Yes, thank you.
So there's much congratulations on here. I just want to skip over to one question from Juan Carlos.
Sure.
He's asking, are you curious at all, at any level, who was responsible for that postcard?
Oh, absolutely. And
yeah.
just say I'm curious because while this is more the exception than the rule, in my opinion, if it happens ever and at all, it's too much. This is not what politics should be about. And for anyone that says, well, that's politics, no, I'm sorry. But as candidates, we need to lead by example. And even if our supporters are getting in the gutter and doing that, we should lead by example, condemn that type of behavior. And here especially, that this is a political action committee, whatever they call themselves, Concerned Conservatives of Brownsville, that is not registered as a PAC. Sending a mailer like that, I think there might be some federal laws, election laws that might have been violated. So we absolutely plan to file a complaint. We absolutely plan to ask for a postal inspection to see if that stamp can be tracked. And if it can, then whatever remedies the law allows, whatever punishment the law requires, we hope that the proper authorities will pursue those. Because
that was the other part of the question was, do you intend to take this, escalate this into legally?
I'm not going to escalate it legally in the sense that I'm going to go sue somebody. I'm not interested in a civil suit. I'm not interested in suing somebody for $1 million. No, but if laws were broken, I expect people to be held accountable. Just like, we've talked about with my pending DUI. I expect to be held accountable for my actions. Same thing applies to everyone. Nobody's above the law.
Very well said. Nadia, congratulations, Roy.
Thank you.
Robert Camacho, congratulations, Roy. You're being elected as our commissioner. Come great responsibility. We expect to support and serve our community well. Maybe I'll see next election. There you go.
Robert, let's get together for lunch or breakfast soon. I'd love to catch up with you guys. And thank you guys for always being professional and polite. I still consider dear friends.
That was awesome. Hilda Garcia, congratulations, Roy. Betty Rubble, yeah, good point. She says, be safe out there, Roy. People can be damaging, and you held a fair race to have negativity get in the way. Can't wait to see what District 3 has in store. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought about that too. You have people who do silly things during the campaign, but now you're going to have people after the fact because they're so losers. You just you have to watch your back. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It sucks that you got to do that. It sucks that we even have to talk about that. But
and the thing is, anybody trying that, all you're doing is distracting from the good things we want to do for the community. And there was another young woman I had a great conversation with today at the farmers market. Her name was Jessica also, and she was one of my opponent supporters. We got to have a great discussion. And her main point for approaching me was to let me know that not all conservatives are filled with hate out there. Not all conservatives had hate towards me. And I understand that. I understood that even before we had that conversation. But it was a great conversation, and I was able to hopefully give her some relief as far as some of the fears. And I know the fears come from the lies and the messages that were being put out, that I was going to come on the scene now getting elected and unveil some huge secret gay agenda, and that's not the case. And I understand the concern she had with this was around the drag queen story hour, but the concern of seeing that proliferate and grow into something where it would go into schools. And I reassured her, and I'll tell you, and I've spoken to the LGBTQ community about that. The difference there is you're not just talking about something that's out in public, that people have the right to attend or not attend. There are laws that say your kids must be in school. School is a mandatory place. And if it's a mandatory place, that's not a place that we should be going with that type of information or outreach, because it always should be something that the parents get to make that decision for their children. It's never going to be, I will never be involved with forcing that on families or children.
Shonda says, I found in my house smear campaign postcards that go right in the recycle bin. People are tired of mudslinging and want their issues addressed.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you do have those that do like drama. They do like to cause division. Robert Camacho, regarding the postcard, Jessica Puente Bradshaw had nothing to do with the postcard.
And Robert, I don't disagree with you one bit. There's nothing to lead me to think that Jessica was responsible for this. I do believe it was Jessica's supporters. And I think it's unfortunate because, like we've talked about on this show, I think there's some things that Jessica could offer the community. But every time she runs, some of her supporters do something like this to whoever her opponent is. And it's a disservice to Jessica, because that's not who she is, I don't believe. And it's keeping her from being able to get into a position where she could do some good for the community. And I'm hopeful that after having seen that this type of a tactic does not result in success, that whoever it is out there that's doing that, even if they're doing it with good intentions for Jessica, they need to realize that's not the way to go. That's not what the people want, and it doesn't win elections.
Agreed. Marie Morgan, please do file a complaint. That was absolutely nasty. Roy had already addressed that point just now.
Yep.
Juan Carlos, talking about this PAC, do you think they are legit or just a bogus front?
I think it's just a bogus front, and honestly, anything like that should be completely factual. And at a minimum, some of it is opinion, a matter of opinion, that I'm going to destroy conservative values, things like that my work's going to affect business owners. That's a matter of opinion, and we can debate those things. One thing that is not refutable is I am not the chair of the LGBTQ task force. I never have been. I've never sought that position. That lie keeps getting told over and over and over. And why? Because it probably looks good if they think they're coming after the head of the LGBTQ task force. So they want me to be the poster child for that. But the fact that even one lie is included on that mailer, that's a cause for concern. So, and if somebody wants to put that out there, have the balls to put your name on it, to say political advertisement paid for by John Doe or whoever it is out there. Put your name on it. Don't hide behind a fake PAC, or organize and create a real PAC when you put that on there. But yeah, don't hide behind a phony PAC. I don't think they're legit. I think it's a bogus front.
Yeah, well, we know that's not going to happen. They're not going to fess up to anything like that. Snoopy, with so much division these past few days with the election, I feel like that has to be addressed. A lot of people were attacking Jessica unjustly, and I don't think that is correct. Too much division. I'm not a fan of that either. And I was going to talk to you about this privately, but I know you're okay with having things out in public.
Yes.
And I've told you this before, and you can prove it to them. I've talked to you about this before. I think some of the people on that task force are doing the task force a disservice, and possibly even giving it a bad reputation or a bad name by all of this attacking of Jessica that was going that way by, a certain individual or so. But I think it's not good for the true intention of the task force. If you can talk to somebody about that, I think that's something you don't want.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of those fine lines, because we don't want to infringe on someone's freedom of speech. Well, but definitely we want them to hold a high standard. I understand.
Yeah, I see it like the Colin Kaepernick thing. It's like, you got your opinion? Okay, cool. You want to kneel? Fine, but you got to do it over there. Yeah. Or you got to do it, away from the task force. So you don't want to. because that's not the feelings of the whole task force, I'm sure.
Now, that one thing I will say on that, though, and that this goes back to the fact that there is at least one lie that's easily provable on that postcard. The fact that my opponent, when she finally came out and spoke about it, said, we're not responsible, but everything in it is true. Or nothing, these things are not refutable. No, there was a lie clearly on there. And you need to vet the facts yourself. You can't just trust that everything you're being told is the truth. So I think when she didn't take ownership, but said everything on there is irrefutable, I think she did herself a disservice, because it's not true. It's 100% not accurate. There is at least one point that is absolutely refutable, and that has to do with me being labeled as the chair of the LGBTQ task force. And if there's one lie in there, then we have to have that raises suspect and doubt about anything the allegations are making. And like I said, a lot of it's conjecture about conservative values and what's going to affect business owners when there hasn't even been a policy proposed yet. It's just discussions that are going on.
Yeah. Agreed. Robert Camacho, maybe I'll challenge you on your next election. Well, you already got a challenger.
Be in my camp on my next election, Robert. I hope in these next 4 years, I impress you with the things we do to work for Brownsville, and that you'll be one of my champions in the next race.
If people could work together instead of just trying to oppose each other so much, and just if you really care about the community and the city,
exactly,
then drop certain differences and let's work together for the common good. Eddie Trevino, hey Manny, I know you're looking to serve in the public as well, and I don't know if Roy was to appoint you onto a board or committee, would you accept that? I don't know, possibly. It's something I've always thought about. Roy, congrats on your victory.
Thank you, Eddie.
Betty Rubble, hey Roy, did you tell people you are gay? LOL, even more, you are human. Well liked, and from what I heard, you are a hard worker. Nothing matters now but making Brownsville the best, better than ever.
That's right. And yep, I've absolutely said I'm the gay conservative candidate on the ballot.
Yep, he said that from day one. And I have no idea what this is. If you can decipher that.
I cannot.
Anybody?
I think it just says, it says here, congratulations, Roy.
It says, congratulations, Roy, from Saudi Arabia.
0307-906-2346.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, focus on getting streets getting repaved and brush to be picked up from District 3. Bring jobs to Brownsville as well.
The focus is for those types of things is not just on District 3. It's for the city of Brownsville. While I represent District 3 and will fight for the citizens in District 3, we need to work together as a city, not fighting us versus them versus other districts.
Yeah, try to find a way. You know, I know that company, I forget the name of the Allied Republic. That's right. They are, when COVID broke out, they had a lot of people out on COVID. That's why things have been just backed up for like a year. And they don't have all the personnel, so I don't know what we can do to help their situation. But
what we do there, and I've had this discussion with some folks at the city, is we need to ensure when we execute contracts for any type of services, there needs to be provisions for this type of emergency should it arise. And either those companies, if they cannot keep up with the workload, they need to either go out and contract private subcontractors to help shoulder the load, or the city needs to have the option to take some of the money that would normally be paid to those companies and use it to hire private contractors. But the citizens shouldn't have to pay every month and not get the services they're paying for. We understand emergencies happen. It's always easy to put together a contingency plan, just like we do for storms and hurricanes and anything else. We can plan for this now, and we need to get ahead of it.
Yeah, definitely, because it's some places that's really, really out of control. Chuck, you said something about school learning. So you against critical race theory being taught in school?
I honestly, Chuck, have not looked enough into that, because as this topic has really started to bubble up, I've been so entrenched in this campaign. So I've not had a chance to pay enough attention to the arguments on both sides of that.
All right.
But that's something I'm glad to come back and speak on at a future date.
Yeah, definitely. I will task you to that. Look into that, and you'll see that critical race theory is not a good thing. Not a good thing for this country. Robert Camacho, I'll be happy to help you out, Roy. It's an honor to hear that you would like for me to be a part of your team.
I would love it for anyone that was not behind me in this race. And that's one thing I'll say for all of my opponent's supporters. If nothing else, I understand your passion. And I respect the passion that you've got for what you feel is right and the future that you want to see for our city. I do feel that a lot of the folks who did not support me in this race were being lied to. I know several folks had heard about this secret gay agenda, this secret progressive agenda, or whatever agendas are out there. That's not who I am. And so I plan to work hard to show all those of you who had any doubts about who I am that, yes, I'm a conservative, even though I'm gay, and there are things I want to get accomplished. But I hope to earn your trust over these next 4 years, and hopefully within the first year alone, to show you that I am someone who will absolutely serve this community faithfully, and hopefully win you guys over as supporters when I run for re-election in 4 years.
There you go. Well said. And yeah, people will be. And I said it a little while ago on the show. I said we are going to keep your feet to the fire and make sure, remind you of stuff, and all and I have a feeling that you will. So I'm not real worried about it. But so what do you do now? You had your little party, you had your little celebration, so to speak. Yeah. And what does Roy do now? Go home and go to bed, or
no, not
meet with some friends or people?
Home, I don't think I could possibly go to bed because I'm on cloud nine. I really am. So the energy's flowing, the adrenaline is pumping. I have a couple of stops that I want to make tonight, including one of my big supporters. His daughter just graduated from San Benito High, and I want to be able to stop by their party or after party to pay my respects to them, because that family's been an ally of mine. And they're not just friends. We work together with Sombrero Festival and doing stuff for the community. So that's part of how I want to spend this evening, aside from stopping and seeing other supporters and continuing conversations like this. I've already had one written interview, and I'm glad to do this video interview, but start talking about what needs the city has and how we can best tackle them.
What is going to be one of your first priorities for yourself that you'd like to see get done come day one, week one, whatever you want to call it?
This is a discussion I'll have with leadership at the city, and also I hope to have with the board of PUB. Is I want to see and I don't want to use the word audit, because audit isn't the right word. I want to see an evaluation or a sample taken, and I want this in our permitting and building department. I want this at 546 Health, and I want this at PUB. And of course, this isn't my decision. This is commission and PUB decision. But what I want is for cases, let's say 30 cases that have happened within the last 3 months or last 6 months, and how they were handled from start to finish in all of those departments. How satisfied were those citizens, whether they were applicants for a permit, whether they called in something to 546 Health, or whether it's just a customer at PUB. How satisfied they were with their experience, what their feedback is, where we misstepped, what we could do better. Because I think it's important that we hear directly from the citizens and directly from the people using these services what the experience is like. And if there's room to improve, then we should do it.
Very good. Well, don't want to keep you. I'm sure you got, like you said, you got some more stops to make. I do thank you for coming on here and saying a few words for us. Everyone is, your supporters are obviously very happy, very proud of you.
And Manny, like I told you, once I'm sworn in, whether we do it right after every city commission meeting or the day after every city commission meeting, I'm willing to come on and answer any questions that the audience has about votes that were taken and why I voted the way I did on any issues, because the public has a right to know, and I want to continue to be accessible, not just during election season, but throughout my term as a commissioner.
Yeah, like I said a little while ago, you raised the transparency bar to a whole new level. And I keep telling everybody, if that's not transparent enough for you, then I don't know what is.
Thank you, man.
I mean, you've come out time and time again, just opening your life up to all kind of criticism, all kind of questions. I mean, nothing that you turn down. So,
yep.
This well. People will expect that, from here on forward. Well, let's see if he's going to be like that, now that he got elected.
Yep. So the one thing I will say, and because I know people keep throwing this around, whenever the mayor endorsed me, whenever commissioners would come out and support, and a lot of my detractors are getting on them saying, you need to stay neutral. You shouldn't be endorsing anyone. I'm sorry, but even President Trump endorsed candidates in different races.
Yeah.
And see anything wrong with that? We're all U.S. citizens. Just because you're in an elected office doesn't mean you lost your rights. The freedom,
right.
Everything else. And if there's nothing wrong with the president endorsing a candidate in races, there's nothing wrong even at the local level So we need to stop beating each other up over that. We're grown-ups. Let's just accept we're going to support the candidates who we think are best, and we're going to do the best for our city.
Very good. Paul sends his congratulations. I'll just read a couple more comments and then we'll let you get on the way here. Robert, don't forget, Roy always put Jesus first.
Always.
Mary Garcia, congratulations. And from David Lee Trevino, thank you, Roy and Manny, and yes, you too as well, Abel. Roy, thank you so much. I'll let you get on to your business there. Congratulations again. And we will look for many good things to happen. And again, be in touch as you can. Enjoy your evening and congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Congrats.
All righty, Mr. Roy Dos Santos on his victory. And let's see, hopefully good change to come to Brownsville. You have to be optimistic. You have to be. Anytime there's a change, you have to be optimistic. So, see, I didn't want to put him on the spot, tell him about this other situation, what happened with the with lunch the other day when he offered, his opponent and their workers, their volunteers lunch, and they refused them. They said no, and they were very angry. Today, I think it was today or yesterday, they were putting up a flag, the United States flag, and his opponent was also putting up the U.S. flag, but they couldn't erect it the right way and keep it up there. And they saw this, so Ben Neese went with one of Roy's volunteers, grabbed some tape, grabbed some zip ties and something else. They walked over there and they said, "Hey, we want to help you put this flag up." In good faith, there was nothing cynical about it. And they angrily refused them. They said, nope, we don't need anything from you. We got this. And they turned them away again. So what do you make of that? Take it. Why do people have to be like that? I don't know. Just because you're an opponent, it doesn't mean you're, an opponent. People, you need to chill, man. Somebody, this is just like I said, an olive branch. It had nothing to do with politics. It had everything to do with let's help them out and put their flag up.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically out there fighting like it's a whole different country or something. Like if it's a war, and in reality, everybody's there for the same purpose. If they're really genuinely out there for the same purpose, they should be working separately, united, if that is a way to work. They all have their own I say agenda, right? But they feel like they're actual opponents, like you say, physically. And
yeah, and you're not going to war physically. They're not the enemy. You just have to chill. People need to relax, calm down, and don't be so hostile. I know you're not going to go and have a drink together and do this afterwards. That's fine, but take it easy, people. Take it easy.
Oh yeah, just out of respect for the whole election process, at least.
Yeah, don't be so angry. People need to quit being so angry.
I think it was awesome that Mr. Roy was out here just right now, right after his victory, already here on your platform. A lot of other people who win, they go out and they're not going to waste their time on this. They have to go and celebrate. So I mean, that shows greatness.
Yeah, I do appreciate him taking the time out, and he said he wants to do a live and talk about the commissioner meetings as they happen, after they happen, just like he said, whether it's the day after or the same night, but right away and explain what happened and what went on. I think that's awesome. I think it's good to educate people. A lot of times the audio is so bad on these things, you don't even hear what's going on, and you're just, they voted on something, or so that will be nice. Oscar says, congratulations, Roy. Elizabeth, get Pedro Cardenas on the show. I will reach out. I will reach out to him, and we'll see if he's interested or not in coming on the show. Like I said, I'll reach out now that the election has been decided, but I'm not going to beg. Shonda, hoping your elected officials will fail is like hoping your pilot fails. Yeah, fresh foot forward. That's a great way to put it. You know that he was open about everything, and I believe if he said he will do something, yes, he will. I think, I get that feeling also. Chuck Nelson, Roy's a great speaker. We can get any elected position that he wants. People want honesty, and that's what he gives. I've been saying that everybody's complaining about transparency, and they want transparency. Boy, this dude, if that's not being transparent, then I don't know what is. Abel, I don't know how many of the interviews you saw with him, but dude is just an open book. And
plenty. The guy didn't dodge a question ever.
No. And, if he did dance around a certain question or whatever, fine. Maybe he did. But he didn't run from it, and he didn't, avoid it. Everything was put out there. And I think he's making it dangerous. He rose that bar where people need to be like that. And now, if you're going to get into politics, hopefully he'll start that trend where people want to be open like that. And a lot of people don't want to be open. They don't want to have to put out so much info, open up about their personal life, about their life. Snoopy, you see, Roy says people need to be grown up and stuff. That should go for everyone in every aspect. Agreed. That LGBTQ task force is brutal. Even right now, they're making fun of Jessica's loss. See, I have a problem with that. And I told him live, Snoop, I don't know if you saw it or not, and I'm going to tell him again tomorrow. That's a problem. Is that the same guy who's doing it? The same guy that we talked about before? You know who I'm talking about? Let me know that, because congrats to the newly elected city commissioner, Roy Dos Santos. Mr. Velez, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Sorry to say, this city real needs to move forward. We are a laughing stock. We're definitely behind, that's for sure. And, maybe some fresh blood will help do the job. That's ugly that they refuse to help. What happened to love thy neighbor? I agree. I'm not going to say it wasn't Jessica herself. It was her volunteers. So I'm not going to put this on Jessica. But why do you have to be like that? Why do you got to be, just be graceful? What's wrong with somebody offering you something? You need help. Hey, I got tape or whatever. Kudos to those that offered to help and showed class. Yeah, I agree. Stuff happens. And I guess I didn't want to ask him about this. Have him discuss it. We don't need to, I don't want to put him in a weird spot. But yeah, so there it is. That race has been decided. And the next one, I think they said, is 2 years later for the other commissioner seats. And so we'll see who's going to run then. Abel, you ever thought about running for public office? Anything? Commissioner? I don't know, mayor, something?
Why not? I'm not ready for it yet. The changes that I do believe the city needs, like I've continued to say, is a whole voting system, right? About getting more engagement with voters. I really am in it for the right stuff, man. And like I said, it begins with a voting system. So no, I'm not going to go and run next year or nothing, but I don't need to run in order to make a change. If we can make a change on an individual level, somebody else can keep the title. The title is I prefer to not have a title. I prefer to just be a person that makes a change. That's it.
Yeah, and you do have a point there. People can help the community. It doesn't mean you can't help unless you're sitting in a commissioner seat or something. Everybody can pitch in. You don't have to wait for a seat to open up or run for some office or run for mayor. You can run, you can help and contribute without being in office. You need to form a group, then you form an organization.
So many leaders in history have never been an elected official, but they're still in our history books today because of the actions that they've taken. So a lot of times it's not the title, it's the action, the action behind the motive that builds history. And that's where it really begins, on the individual level. If we're able to build and actually push our mentality out to the community and make a change
Yeah.
Somebody can have a title, you know. They can keep that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, what's the saying? Actions speak louder than words. And if you get a good group of people together, suggest things or make changes or help the community, even if it's picking up trash, whatever it is, it's a good start. And people notice it. Don't do it for the fame. Don't do it for the recognition. Do it because you want to make that difference. Do it because you want that street clean. Do it because you want to help. Don't do it for, there's this meme going around where some guy is handing a homeless guy like $5, some cash, but he's taking a picture of himself giving the man a donation. And that's the wrong way to do it. Don't do it for recognition. Just do it because out of the goodness of your heart. And there's so many smart people and good people. If differences could be put aside, man, a lot of things can be done in this city. A lot of things can be done in this city. A lot of good things can happen. So we'll see. Let's say it's probably another month or so, maybe a little less before things happen. But he's got his foot in the door, and hopefully we got good things to come for the 3rd District and for the entire city of Brownsville as well. Let's see. I read this one already. Good night. Thank you so much. Yes, David, have a great night. Thank you so much. Snoopy, I think both of you definitely need to run for something or be part of some sort of committee. What do you think, Abel?
We'll just start our own committee, the committee. We'll call it the committee. The committee.
The committee. We'll think of something. Yeah, running for an actual seat, commissioner or something. Yeah, I'm not there right now. And I'll be honest, watching a lot of the mudslinging that went on with this, even though it was minor compared to what happened on the national level, like, I'm not interested to get involved in any of that. I've got patience to a point, and I'd probably get kicked out of any kind of race for not being able to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of life is being able to feel fulfilled. And if it's, you're fulfilled because you're the president of the United States, great. If you're fulfilled because you're the guy who started picking up trash on your street and it makes you happy, great. At the same level, both men go to sleep and they're both feel fulfilled. Makes no difference.
Yeah, and I think and somebody's asking a question down there, would I ever run? I doubt it, but I think I'm doing these kind of interviews and talking to people. I'm kind of seeing what I like to do, where I'm comfortable with. Maybe it's this just on a bigger, better scale, maybe. I've always said the city needs, the classic media, you see on TV from movies, even in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. You got reporters with the trench coats and the hats, and they have microphones sticking in people's faces. What do you think about this? And what happened? And why did you, there's none of that anymore. It would be great to take a mic, stick it in somebody's face, and try to get their opinion, ask them a question, see if they'll talk to you right there. But nobody does that here. I think that would be a good thing to have here. Something like that, I'd be interested in putting together I don't know if it's a news organization or a media company or what. I have to look into that. That's what I'm interested in, maybe.
Don't give out too much info, Manny.
Yeah, Roy is the most, Juan Carlos, Roy is the most polished candidate this year. His answers to questions on forums were what convinced me. Very well spoken. He's got experience. He's been there in the system. He knows what he's talking about. So I agree with what you say there. Chuck, crap, I will move down there and run. What district do I need to move to? Let's see. Well, the next ones are going to be 1 and 2. District 1, District 2. I'll welcome you to District 1. Come on, Chuck, you can do it. Pedro Cardenas' landslide was impressive. I'd like to see a thorough analysis. Yeah, that was huge. That was
a blowout.
Yeah, definitely was a blowout. And I would be interested in speaking with him. I will try to make that happen. Pedro Rebel, see you at the polls in 2 years. Anxious to see who will run for District 1 and what they will do for my area that needs so much help. One does need a lot of help. Then there's that question: would I ever run? I mean, I don't know. Not right now.
On a treadmill or something for now.
Yeah, even less on a treadmill. Chuck, Amanda, you won't have time to run. You would be my business partner when we help revitalize downtown. Totally in for that. Totally in for that. I've got knowledge in that department, so I'm in, Chuck. Snoopy, so you and Osmo aren't friends anymore? You can answer how you want. I'll say no. I'll say no. Simple as that. He made a comment, disturbing comment about Roy and myself. You guys have probably heard it. I'm not going to repeat it. And I think it's a real cheap shot, low blow for somebody who calls themselves a God-fearing person to say these kind of things. I don't know. I don't know what's in their heart. So, yep, turn around, moving on, and he made that happen. So, when I was referring to removing negative things from your life, that's what you have to do, and I'm okay with it. I'm happy. I'm sad. Thought it was a true friendship, but I don't know. There are conflicting things on what I said or what I did. I'm not going to apologize. I didn't do anything wrong, so I don't know. Whatever they're feeding him, I have no idea what that is. So let it be, move on, and I am just fine. But thanks for asking. No problem at all. Manny, behind the mic, you're doing a great job with your show. Thank you, Mr. Velez. Trying to get better. I want to get better. I know I'm not the perfect interviewer. Never claimed to be, but I'm going to try to get better and do things better. I find it interesting how Ben East lost. I thought he had it in the bag with how everyone was endorsing him, like the police department, firefighters. Yeah, you know what? Pedro Velez has had already an audience at his business, and he took advantage. Yeah,
Cardenas.
I'm sorry. Pedro Cardenas had an advantage with his business and the people that frequent his business, and he took advantage of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're supposed to do. Exploit what you have, exploit the good points, and make it happen. And he made it happen. That's what you're supposed to do. So kudos to him. Betty Rubble says, you and Abel have good voices, and the forums, maybe a great get out and give your opinion about city issues would be better than a position. Get the word out on the local issues is very important. I agree. And it's, I had Roy on a bunch of times, and I already said why. He always had a lot to say. He wanted to defend himself. He wanted to address the allegations. He wanted to address falsehoods that were out there, or whatever it was he wanted to address. Come on and address it. And
well, at this point, Manny, I mean, yeah, the platform is here, and there's a lot of issues that we're not aware of because, for example, there's only certain roads we drive every single day. That's your normal route. But just being that you have the followers, I mean, there's people who can bring up these issues to you, so you can bring light to them as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I didn't endorse him. I didn't endorse anybody because really, who am I to endorse anybody? I'm not some gigantic organization that would. It's just that's not what I want to do. I don't want to lean myself only to one side, because then nobody wants to come and talk to you on your show. And does being tough on somebody mean I'm leaning the other side? No. It just means I'm trying to get some answers. And that's what I'll try to do. I'm not going to try to put anybody in a corner. Somebody who does feel like that, well, I'm sorry you feel like that, but I'm going to try to get answers. Okay, got that one out the way. Treadmill, very funny. Well, didn't know this was an open mic comedy show night. Linda Lopez, Ben East made a huge mistake when he turned on those citizens who applied for GBIC and nominated himself and the rest. Yeah, I agree. And the rest of the commissioners instead. Many missteps followed and the voters spoke. Yep. That's probably what did it. Because this wasn't a close win. This was huge margin. And that turned a lot of people off, I'm sure. Anyone who's still here, if you haven't liked my page yet, please give us a like. Facebook.com/Manny behind the mic. Just hit the little thing, hit the little bell for notifications. It'll notify you every time we come on for a show. Typically, they've been at 10:30 evenings. I took almost a little over a week off due to a vacation and some other internet issues where I travel to. Internet's been good so far, right? Hasn't been gone out too much at all. Okay, maybe they fixed it. So yeah, give us a like there. Let's see. Here, we'll do another couple of these. Have you heard anything about Sylvia Atkinson? She was supposed to turn herself in, and it hasn't been confirmed if she did or not. From what I understand, she did not, because they were closed due to Juneteenth being celebrated federally on Friday. So that's why she was not. She did not surrender then. When? Don't know if it's going to happen, or if it happened already, maybe yesterday. I don't know if they do Saturdays, or is it just a Monday through Friday thing? My guess is that she'll be in there on Monday. Yeah, I'll try to find out. If there's a way to find that out. What else is going on? Stable Abel.
I have one thing going on that I guess I'm going to share today on your show. I guess I'll look this way. Is a tree back here. This is one I have to, tell everybody about, because if I don't, then I'm just being a bad person.
Okay.
So there's two different things about a tree. A tree never asks for permission on how big it has to grow. And that's one thing that as a human, sometimes we forget how big of a human we are, how big our mental capacities are, how much of a difference we could make. And we sell ourselves short because the people around you only let you grow to a certain height. But in the full nature, like a tree, like I mentioned again, there's different types of trees. Some only grow this tall, some grow 50 feet tall, 100 feet tall. Depending on what kind of tree it is, it never asks for permission on how big it's going to grow. And this is just one thing that I think I want everybody here to fall asleep and think about that tonight. Are you living to your full potential? Is this really it for you? Or are you just making excuses? Anyways, that right there is the only thing I wanted to talk about, Manny.
It's true. People have a lot of potential, and parents, give your kids encouragement from a young age. May have them be responsible. Teach them about money. Teach them how to be responsible about money. Teach them how to lead. Try to teach them. There are a lot of people who have natural leadership tendencies, and those that don't, well, you can teach them, but you really can't teach them. Really, they're just some natural born leaders, and it's your job to try to get that out of your child. Encourage them. They need words of encouragement from day one. You have to constantly encourage. People need to take responsibility and teach them young what being responsible means.
Build a confidence, and because everybody else around might not be building confidence, and doubts start to come up, and you start to think this is your limit, but your capacity is really up here. So you live your whole life here when you should have been up here. Not only for our children, right, but even for us, we can literally change our life just by changing a few of our thoughts.
Yeah, and you can. I mean, just because we're older doesn't mean things can't change. But in your child, you have a chance to plant that seed at a very young age. Teach them to be responsible, and they'll do better in school. They'll do better around the house with helping with chores, and they'll be better students, and they'll want to get a job and contribute, and they'll have something to contribute to society. And you want that for your child. You want them to grow up that way. So to all you people with kids, encourage. They need those words of encouragement. And I know in a single parent household, it's a little harder to do. All you single moms out there, I know it's harder to do that, but it can still be done. You just have to keep you have to be both parents. You have to be both parents. I'm a real big believer in, for the single mom. Who taught me this lesson? Remember Dr. Laura on the radio? Because a lady called up and said, it was a talk show where people would call and ask for advice. And to Dr. Laura, I have my son. He's 2 or 3 years old. And I just met this guy and we're going to be going on dates and this and stuff. And she's like, what are you doing? She goes, well, I'm divorced now. I'm a single parent, but, I have to go out there. I have to date, I have to. And she said, as soon as you had your child, you lost your dating rights. That child is now your life. That child is your responsibility. That child is your boyfriend. That child is your husband. That child is your everything. I said, don't put any man, any boyfriend, anything. Don't bring him into your life. It's gonna interfere with you raising your child. Don't put a boyfriend first. Don't send your kid to the babysitter because you want to go out and have a date. You gave up that right when you had a child. I said, now it's your responsibility to make sure this child grows up and is safe and is responsible. That's who your priority is. And I agree with that. I think once you give birth or you decide to have sex out of wedlock and you give birth to a child, that child is bolted to your hip until he's at least 18, and then even beyond that sometimes. At least that's what I think anyway. So, Dr. Laura, thank you for that one. I do believe in that. Curious what some of you parents believe, but
I can see how tough that decision could be. It is a lot easier to just continue your dating life and all, but there's a lot of mothers who will just stop their life. And I'm not saying any of them are bad, any of them are good. I'm just saying that some of them make that decision of that. It takes a lot of strength to do that. I believe that 100%. That's kind of crazy, bro. To be able to stop your life for a child. A child changes everybody's life. Child changed my life. Completely turned around 360. I wouldn't be the person I am right now if I wouldn't have had a child. So that's one thing that I really do believe is for a parent. Like tomorrow being Father's Day, I am really happy for it to be Father's Day. I can actually say I do my best every single day, and hats off to all the fathers who do too, and also to all the fathers who can't see their kids because their baby mamas don't let them.
Yeah, that's terrible right there. That's that's a whole other discussion. But yeah, definitely. I don't know. I don't know how that came up, to be honest with you now, but at least you guys know my stance on it. And it's important. I didn't think it was important. Well, before I heard that message, it didn't make any sense. And I thought, that when I first heard it, what? Your son is your boyfriend? The son is a husband? What are you talking about? You're crazy. But, it's sunk in later. It's like, yeah, that person, that child is your everything. Your everything. And don't you dare bring in a boyfriend and put your kid second or put him in the back seat, so to speak, because you have needs. Well, you gave up those needs as soon as you had sex and had a child as a result. So for all you single moms that are doing it, single dads even that are doing it, hey man, keep at it. Keep at it. Encourage those kids. Always positive reinforcement all the time. Don't give them a participation award, because I'm not a fan of that either. No participation trophies. If you lost, you lost. You know what? You got to work harder next time, and then you can win. No participate. Oh, that's okay. Here, you won. You did good anyways. Nope. I think that's damaging to a child because they're always going to expect something.
That's why they don't reach their capacity. They just stay with it's all right, a whole life that is gonna blow by us. It feels like 80 years 70 years of a lifetime, but in reality, it feels like a few months. Time flies, so we just got to make the best of it for us,
Dude,
for our kids, for our parents, for everybody, bro.
I know. 1 minute you're in 8th grade, next minute you're already a junior in high school. Next thing you know, you're graduating from high school. Next thing you know, you're in college. Next thing you know, it's June 19th, 2021. I'm like,
what happened? And then life happens, man. So you don't stop and think, hey, man, all right, let me slow down and think about what I could do, where I've been failing, how I can be better, because you're too busy, swaying things around that are coming at you every single moment of your life. But I mean, if you can just slow down for one moment and just be like, okay, so am I living at the capacity of where I'm supposed to be? Have I really settled here? And it's okay if like I said, there's different sizes of trees, right? So if you're in one spot and you're already reached your max, then you met your level of success. It's great. And like I said earlier, success always only takes a prepayment. So you got to prepay that up front. You want to be successful, you got to put in the hard work that comes with it.
Yep.
But for me, for you, for everybody, I just realized that
success is working hard. The success is not easy. But I'll tell you what, the harder the work you put into it early on, the easier time you'll have later in life. So train those kids, encourage those kids, always positive with those kids. Reward the good behavior. Don't reward a loss. I'll say it again, I'm not a fan of participation trophies, because then they start to be comfortable with that. Well, I don't have to win. I can get the second prize, and that'll be okay. Like, who wants second place? I don't. So anyway, enough of that little soapbox statement.
Yep.
Let's see. Where did I leave off at? Betty Robbins got an issue. I hate driving across town to go to Walmart, gas stations, or restaurants when Southmost is growing, and now Elon is bringing more money to this area. Well, that's good, right? I hate driving across town to go to Walmart, gas stations, or restaurants when Southmost is growing. Okay, so you don't have to go to... So what's your gripe? Did I lose something? Did I miss something? Did I miss something, Betty Rubble? Abel, what do you do? Because your analogies are very good. Word for thought. So here we go with that magic question again. Abel, what do you do exactly? We asked this question once before, and everyone was like,
yeah, I don't do nothing.
He's a businessman.
Yep.
Entrepreneur, you can say, and works a lot. That's all I got to say about it.
I'm a person who just realized that life goes by way too quick to settle for less. And even though we're not getting the most of it, like I said, success is really not ever going to be measured in money, but success to me is measured in fulfillment and happiness. And this is one thing that I'm chasing for me and my family. And these are things that I just learned, sometimes not even by reading the books. I'm just that one guy that said, all right, I'm going to stop living because this things that life throws at you every single time. You're too occupied with it. Your anxiety is up the roof. You don't know what's going to happen. Your stress levels are going crazy. And then you slow down and you realize that everything was going to be okay. And you wasted all that time. So I'm that one guy who doesn't waste time with that no more. I'm just that guy who wants everybody else to learn also that things will be okay as long as you keep progressing. Even if it's slowly, it doesn't matter. That's all I can say. I cannot explain.
Yeah. Sometimes you get knocked down or you get a roadblock, but you know what? You got to keep going through it. It's just a temporary setback. Keep moving forward. Stay positive. This is where to stay positive. And is the glass half full or is it half empty? You've heard that before. My glass is always half full. It's going to keep filling up. It's always half full. Don't look at it the other way where it's empty. It's not empty. It's half full. It's a mental thing. You have to train your mind to think differently. And you keep being negative all your life. Well, you know what? There's not much good that's going to do you. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to keep playing the victim, and you don't want to do that. Oh, Chuck, I have a 22-year-old who wants to be a millionaire between the ages of 25 and 30, and he might make it before his 25th birthday. That's awesome. But most importantly, he is so respected by everyone that he meets. That is excellent. That's very good. Being respected by other people is the best gift you can have.
Oh, yeah.
100%. That's great. That's awesome. Dr. Laura was a great radio show. It was. Sometimes she was a pain in the ass. But I think she was a pain in the ass because some of the things that she said were truth and we didn't like to hear it. That's what I come up with anyway. Yeah, she was good on the radio. Did I miss Roy? Yes, you did. We had Roy de los Santos. He came and we congratulated him and he said a few things. So yeah, it was a good few minutes with Roy while he was in the car. Happy Father's Day to all the good fathers out there that have stuck around and been there for your kids, even if their mom refused the dads to see them, but always love your kids. 100%. I can't even imagine that situation where you couldn't see your kid. I wouldn't deal well with that. Manny, you brought tears to my eyes because my dad adopted and stepdad have all passed away, and my hero, my grandpa, but they were always there. Oh, that's awesome. That's good. That's good. They didn't mean to make you cry, but it's good when somebody can step up and, you know, naturally just know where they're needed, you know. That's awesome. What's up, man? You haven't been on in a while. Hey, Ozzy. Yeah, well, no, went to Miami for a short vacation, and internet problems here at this hotel in Nebraska, although it's better today. And so, yeah, but we're back. Thanks for stopping by. Anything else you got, Abel? Otherwise, we can pretty much call it a night. I can kick back for a little bit.
I ain't got nothing else, Manny. It's been a great day overall. You know, first show was awesome. Second show was awesome.
Yeah, we did 2 back-to-back shows. If you guys missed it, we were talking about the election results earlier, displayed them as they came in. Abel was with me. We had a special guest, Paul Lemaster, came on for a few minutes, got his perspective as a resident. And then we had Mr. Roy de los Santos doing his victory laps and came by and said a few words, and we thank him for that. Congratulated him as well. We're going to reach out to Mr. Pedro Cardenas, see if I can get him on the next day or so and talk about his win. And anybody else who would want to come on and discuss it, we will discuss it with you. Again, if you haven't liked our page yet, if you know your friends and family haven't, please have them give my page a like at Manny Behind the Mic on Facebook. Same thing with YouTube. They can hit the subscribe button. Abel, have a good night, buddy. We'll talk again.
Good night, y'all.
Abel will be back with us. We'll figure out a schedule. Bam, too. I'm going to talk to Bam tomorrow and see what can we do for next week. But thanks to you all. Thanks. Here, let me read a few more of these. Have a good night, guys. Good show, both of them. Thank you, Snoopy. Awesome show, like always. Thanks. Have a great night. Oh, thank you, Marie. You're awesome. Joey Nosa, on your trip to Denver, you indicated that the airport needed a lot of repairs. That is a result of the need for those escalators in Denver airport, at the Denver airport, and the people movers, the long conveyor belts. You just stand there and it takes you 1,000 yards or whatever. Those things are always broken down. One or the other is always broken. It's frustrating. It's not comfortable seating. There's not a lot of places to plug your phone in. There really isn't. It needs a facelift, It's time for that in Denver. I asked what you do because you have a very calming nature to yourself. And Manny, I was referring to Southmost has nothing new but a Dollar Tree. Oh, okay. You made it sound like the other way, like Southmost was growing, I think you said. Yeah. Southmost needs that's a lot of things. That's a whole other show in itself. What does Southmost need? We should take a week and collect all the data and then come back and, okay, what does Southmost need? This is what it needs. That's a whole 3-hour show right there. Maybe something we can bring up to Ms. Galansky, the commissioner of District 1, since she'll be running to save her seat, I'm sure. But anyway, we'll call it a night. Abel, thanks for hanging out again, second time. Everyone, have a great night. Enjoy your Sunday with your families. I'm not doing a show tomorrow night, and I'll see what's in store for Monday and Tuesday. I will let you guys know. Anything else, Abel? Any parting words?
None at all. Good night.
You got to come up with something. You got to come up with something like Bam does. You know, Bam, like one planet, one people. That's his thing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I just wanted to say that thing about the tree. That was it.
All right, that's cool. That's right. Then I kept going on after that. Awesome. One quick thing. Paul LeMaster, our friend Paul, who was on the show earlier, on the first show earlier. We need to get him a nickname or something.
Paul the Master.
Any ideas for Paul LeMaster? I mean, a decent, clean nickname. When my friend Josh was on with us for a little while, I'm like, Josh. He goes, "What do you want your name to be on the little title thing here at the little bar?" And he goes, "How about the Gringo?" So that was his idea, to call himself the Gringo. And I was, "You okay with that?" He was, "Yeah, I like it." I said, "Cool, Josh the Gringo." So can't use that name because that's Josh's. But what do we call Paul? Maybe I should come up with a few things and put out a survey out there or something, because Paul's going to be not every day regular, but it'd be nice to have him on once a week or something like that, and on different things. Oh, I also wouldn't mind having a lady, a female, as a guest host once or twice a week. If anybody's interested, I'm thinking about doing that. Bam and I talk a lot, but the problem is we agree with each other too much. I need somebody who's going to disagree with us and not be part of the Manny and Bam kissing each other's ass show. So yeah, and I think it's a good dynamic to have somebody who's totally off the wall, who's going to go, "What, are you crazy?" Stuff like that. So if anybody knows somebody who might want to do that once or twice a week, send them over. Put me in contact. I haven't made it official yet. I'm thinking just want to see what's out there, and I think that would be interesting.
Definitely would.
Good show, guys. Enjoy your Dad Day tomorrow. Happy Father's Day. Chuck, same to you. Happy Father's Day again, once to everybody out there. And we will be in touch in the next day or so. Signing off. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.